Welcome to Social Aloe Ministries, where we are committed to glorifying God while exposing the devil. Some of the material I'm going to present may be a bit disturbing, but please bear with me because this is about relationships that are dead, but one person is holding on. In some cases, people are even deluding themselves by using scriptures to make it seem as if the Lord is going to revive something that, quite frankly, He wants to remain dead, and for good reason. In some countries, they actually mummify bodies of dead relatives, and they hold on to those bodies. And at certain times of the year, they will actually put those bodies on display, as opposed to burying the bodies and, in a sense, letting those loved ones rest in peace. And that's what some people are doing to relationships. Relationships that end, the other person has checked out, in some cases has moved on to someone new, but the person's still holding on, basically wanting the Lord to resurrect something. But again, the Lord intends on keeping it dead. If you watch a medical show and someone has cardiac arrest, to include an asystole, which is a heart rhythm indicative of no blood flow and no electrical activity. So it'll just be a flat line. And you may see them grab the defibrillator and they turn up the jewels and they start saying clear, and they start shocking the person, trying to revive the individual. But the thing is, when a person has a heart rhythm that is an asystole, it is treated with CPR and with drugs. For example, epinephrine. There's some people who are trying to revive relationships. They're trying to shock it back to life, but it would require CPR or something else. But going to the scriptures, sometimes people use scriptures in an attempt to try to resurrect a relationship. Elisha prophesied to the Shunammite woman that the Lord would bless her with a child. And the Lord did, but the child ended up passing away. So the Shunammite woman put that child on the bed that she had for Elisha. And she went in and got Elisha, and Elisha ended up resurrecting that child. Well, in some cases, with a dead relationship, one person has the idea that if he or she can get the other person in bed, then it's going to resurrect that relationship. In a lot of cases, it's not going to happen. And what may happen is that person who gives his or her body to the other individual, if the other person capitalizes and walks away, then the individual who resort to using sex as a means to keep things together or to restore the relationship is going to feel bad, loosely put. They may apply other scriptures. For example, Lazarus. Lazarus was dead for 4 days. In some cases, some of you are like, well, this person's been gone for X amount of days, X amount of months, but the Lord, He's the way in the resurrection. He resurrected Lazarus, and He can resurrect this relationship. In some cases, it is not the Lord's plans. Others have been holding on for much longer. So it's like Ezekiel in the valley of dry bones. And they're waiting for a word from the Lord so they can prophesy to the relationship and bring it back together where bones join bones and sinew and all these things happening, as opposed to simply letting go. And I know for some individuals, you got married. You were excited about the marriage. And maybe the quote-unquote union was short-lived. By the time you put out the message that you got married, divorce proceedings were underway. And rather than just face the fact that for whatever reason, the marriage is over, you try to continue the charade. And the other person is not playing along. In some cases, if you misrepresented yourself and caused an individual to make a decision that he or she would not have made if those facts were apparent, if those facts were known to that individual, then it all spells trouble. There's some relationships where, yes, the Lord will restore them. But there are others where he will let pass away, and those relationships will end up staying that way. And it doesn't matter how many scriptures you can quote, how many people you can find to boost your ego. At some point in time, you have to face the facts. And after the doctor, after the Lord has pronounced that relationship dead, then it's time to let go. When we say that the Lord's Prayer, it's about the Father's will being done, not our will. Not sure how this applies to your case, or if you know someone who's going through this. In some cases, for you to be a friend, one of the best things you can do is to tell a person the truth. If that person doesn't want to believe you, then at least you've done that part. But it is not good friendship to feed someone's delusions. You can find a scripture for just about anything. And you can make it, in a sense, you can make it fit your situation whichever way you want. But sometimes you just have to face reality. You just have to face reality. In some cases, the person who walked out of your life, that person's built a wall up around him or herself, kind of like the walls of Jericho. And some people may even think that they have orders from the Lord to go and march around that wall and shout on X amount of days. And they've done that maybe several times over, and the wall hasn't fallen. And people keep on marching. Face the facts. When something's dead, let it go.